German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, known to his enemies as the Desert Fox, was one of the most famous generals of World War II. His aggressive tactics and daring maneuvers made him a man feared and respected by the Allied forces. But his climb to the top of the German army was not conventional. Rommel was born in 1981 in the small town of Heidenheim in southern Germany. He was the son of a teacher and school principal. Although his family had some military tradition, it did not provide him with major career shortcuts. Still, he was able to enter the Royal School for Officer Cadets in Danzig when he turned 18. Erwin Rommel was already a lieutenant when World War I broke out. In this conflict, he showed courage and boldness while commanding his subordinates. During the conflicts on the French front, he was wounded several times. In one of these actions, he attacked and defeated alone 3 French soldiers using his bayonet. For his bravery in combat in this and other attacks, he was decorated with the Iron Cross of 2nd and 1st class. When he was sent to the Romanian front, Rommel encountered different battles than the stalemate on the Western front. In the east, he put in new tactics that gave great mobility to infantry troops, allowing for agiler and more daring attacks that surprised opponents. Near the end of the war, already as a commander, Rommel was transferred to fight on the Italian front, reinforcing the Austrian troops. The young commander was successful in dozens of engagements, including German Alpine infantry in dangerous Italian mountains. His most notable victory in World War I was when he managed to capture the town of Longarone, subduing more than 8,000 Italian fighters. For this great achievement, he was decorated by the Kaiser with the Pour le Mérite, the highest decoration in the Imperial German Army. This was only given to men who achieved exceptional feats during the war, among them Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron. With the German defeat in World War I, the German army was disbanded. But because of the great prestige gained during the war, Rommel was one of the few officers to remain in the small German army after the Treaty of Versailles. In the following decades, he worked on the reconstruction of the German army, writing the book Infantry Attacks, a great success. In the work, he recounts his experiences and notes about the First Great War. The book also had great acceptance in military circles favorable to Nazism, reaching the hands of Hitler, who decided to appoint Rommel as responsible for his personal guard. In 1939, he rose to the rank of general. One of his tasks was to ensure the Führer's integrity on his visits to the Polish front at the beginning of World War II. After the victory over Poland, the Germans focused on invading the Western countries, Netherlands, Belgium, and France. His closeness to Hitler and his background in World War I led him to command the 7th Panzer Division, known as the Ghost Division. Equipped with modern, fast Panzer III and IV tanks, and the efficient Czech Panzer 38 tanks, Rommel's division wreaked havoc on enemy lines. On May 9, 1940, German Hermann Hoth's 15th Army Corps ordered the 7th Panzer Division to advance toward the Belgian territories. Rommel commanded the men on the front lines, just as he had done in World War I, supported by the 5th Panzer Division. He advanced rapidly through enemy territory, leaving a great trail of destruction in his path. Efficiently applying the Blitzkrieg strategy, Rommel's division caused chaos in the enemy lines, advancing much faster than planned. Rommel found the extension of the Maginot Line, the large French fortification that protected their borders. Although not as heavily protected as their main section, these fortifications were a serious threat to the valuable German tanks. The commander of the 4th Army, General Gunther von Kluge, ordered Rommel's advance to stop. But, with the permission of his immediate superior, Rommel executed an attack against the Maginot Line and broke through the defense. He advanced with his men into French territory. Rommel went many miles into enemy territory, surprising thousands of unprepared French soldiers because they thought they were protected by the Maginot Line. Because of his great advance, the German High Command had no idea where Rommel's division was. The disappearance of an entire division from strategic battle maps gave rise to the nickname Ghost Division. Other generals were furious at Rommel's incautious actions, which could have put thousands of German soldiers' lives in danger. They demanded that he be court-martialed. But all the chaos caused by Rommel and the 7th Panzer Division caused a gigantic mess in the western theater of war. His actions certainly helped weaken the enemy vanguards, facilitating the advance of his fellows and sparing the lives of thousands of German fighters. His actions in Belgium and France earned Rommel the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross, the Third Reich's highest decoration. But Rommel's advance did not proceed with impunity. A counterattack by the armored British Expeditionary Force threatened to cut off the Panzer divisions. Rommel stopped the attack by the impenetrable British Matilda II tanks, using an ingenious tactic. The German armored tanks of that period did not have the caliber to pierce the armor of the heavy British tanks. Therefore, Rommel prepared a defense with anti-tank batteries, whose objective was to target the lighter Matilda I tanks, while the fearsome Flak 88 anti-aircraft batteries were aimed toward the horizon, firing at the heavy British tanks. This strategy had already been used successfully in the Spanish Civil War. The powerful German 88mm cannon set fire to and destroyed much of the British tanks, forcing them to retreat. In the following days, the Allied and French troops fighting in the north were surrounded at Dunkirk and miraculously evacuated to England. Rommel advanced to the distant port of Cherbourg in Normandy, capturing thousands of prisoners along the way. On June 19, 1940, Marshal and Prime Minister Philippe Pétain called for an armistice. The Ghost Division's incredible campaign had come to an end, and its achievements were celebrated throughout Germany. Rommel was called upon by the Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels to participate in the film Victory in the West, where the actions of the Ghost Division crossing the Somme River would be reenacted. The daring General Erwin Rommel became a celebrity, and even the second most popular man in Germany, only below Hitler. With the surrender of France, the 7th Panzer Division was chosen for preparations for Operation Sea Lion, where Germany planned to invade England in an amphibious assault. However, the plan never got off the paper, and the Phantom Division was placed in reserve. A few months later, Rommel was called to take command of the Afrika Korps. In North Africa, the German officer added his name to the greatest generals in history.